Hello everyone, welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to learn conditional statement in octave programming. Now, we have conditional statement in octave programming. Conditional statement are statements which are used to see if a particular condition is true, and if that condition is true, a particular statement is used to show that condition. So, the two main conditional statements we are going to use here, as you have already seen in our C tutorial and C++ tutorial, we are going to see here the else statement, and we are also going to see the switch statement. So these are the main statements that we are going to see in our conditional statement in octave programming. So let's start with the if statement. So let's say you have a mathematical equation, or you have a certain program you want to write. So I'll write in this case a small program. I will say, let's say the mass of my of a certain car. Let's say the mass is 10 kilogram. No, a car has mass of greater than that. So let's say mass of a car is 200 kilograms. Now the mass of a car, I then say acceleration of that car is equals to 3 meters per second. I will not write meters per second, but if I want, I can still place meters per second. No, I'll write just 3 as such. Now when I have this, I can place semicolon not to see the values. Now I'll write here velocity is equals to 40 that is acceleration is 3 meters per second squared. Let's say velocity is 10 meters per second. So 10 meters per second, we're not going to place meters per second in our code. I'll place semicolon and go down. Now I'll use now an if statement to visualize the different values of force that is going to come out. So let's see. Here is velocity. Let's arrange velocity. I'll come above here. You have velo. I will write in here. I'll place I here. Now I'll use an if-else statement to see the different value of force that is going to come out when you have the velocity. So I say if now the velocity here like this, written as such, if the velocity is equals to 0, so I'll say the car is not moving. So I'll enter now into another part and say that the force will be equals to 0. So you write the code is going to write now force equals to 0. I'm going to write a semicolon as such. So now the next thing is that I'm going to write an else if statement. The else if now I'll place in brackets still, and I'll come else if I come now I write velocity. If the velocity now is greater than 0 as such, you see you place the greater than to show as such this sign to place greater than. Use this sign to show greater than as in mathematics. So warning, suggest part, this is our assignment. So this is a warning and not an error. So we continue by writing the force coming. In this case, the force will be equals to I come in, I say force equals to, instead mass now, times with an asterisk let's spell very well acceleration as such. So we have this mass and acceleration, place semicolon. We now go now to the else. We write now, we go down. Yeah, now the else we write tell. So I'm going to now place a string in this case. If it is not greater than this and less than this, then you say the car is moving in opposite direction, or you write the friction is greater than the force. So now if the velocity is negative, in case that the velocity is negative, you see that the car is moving in opposite direction. So right here, the car is moving in opposite direction. So we have this in case where the velocity is not, and base now a semicolon. Now when you want to end the if else statement, you now write n at the end here. You write n, then you are going to come out of it. So the error has been shown just because I've just placed a space here, and that same space was removed here. So now it can continue now with the same format. We have this one here. Now if you write now the false, you see that when you enter here false, you see that it's 600. This 600 is coming out just because the value of the velocity here is 10, and 10 is actually greater than 0. Else, if velocity was equal to 0, then the false would have been written as 0, and if velocity was not equal to 0 nor greater than 0, it was negative, then the false will be negative mass times acceleration, and we have said we write tell the car is moving in opposite direction. So this is what we have written. So from here we have seen how to use the if else statement. Now the next statement we are going to use the switch. The switch is used now in case where you want to compare a variable with certain numbers. So this is how we use switch. You use the word first switch, then after having the word switch, place in bracket. Now here we are going to have, I say, variable here. So we have variable inside. Now after having variable, I entered, so the switch has started. So from here now I'll write case when the variable is equals to 6. So if the variable is equals to 6, I'm going to drop down of the case. So I'm going to enter down and write the statement variable. So I'll write variable equals to the variable is equal to 6, or I can start with 1, 2, and 3. So this is 1. So I've already placed it in the loop, so I'll just say 6. The variable is this. I place semicolon, I place case 5. So when I have case 5, I enter, I say variable is equals to, I place this. Now when I place this, I write the variable is equal to 5. I have this. Now after having variable equals to the variable equals to 5, then go to the next one. We have case 4. We write variable equals to, do this, right inside the variable is equal to 4. So it come out and we have this. So these are the main cases, and then we end. So as such. So now when we end, we then go, we have error variable undefined. This is because it was not well spelled. So here is variable. So variable, this variable. So it is undefined because we have not initially placed the value of variable here. So let's say now we need to place now the value of variable first. So we place variable. So we start here, variable, we start by saying variable is equals to 3. When we have variable is equals to 3, we just place semicolon, we then descend. We go up with the first case, we have switch variable, we descend, we enter with case 6, we descend, then we go down. And lastly, before ending, it is always nice to place the word otherwise. Otherwise is used when you have a variable, because in this case you have variable 3. Otherwise is used when it is outside of the different cases. So if it's not 6, 5 nor 4, we are going to it's going to use the statement inside otherwise. So otherwise you write variable is equals to, you do this, you say the variable is not in the range of 4 to 6. So we have this, and then we end. So after ending now, you can come out of the loop, and then we write the variable as such. So when we press, we say the variable is not in the range of 4 to 6. So this is our value. So from here we have seen the if else statement. If else statement was written here, and we have seen the value of the force because the velocity was greater than 0. So this expression was used, force equals to mass times acceleration. And now in this switch statement, we have variable here, and the variable, if variable is equals to 6, then it's going to enter in this case. If variable is equals to 5, then it's going to enter in this case. If 4 is going to enter in this case. Otherwise, if it's not found in it, it's going to enter in this otherwise, and then you have this. So from here we've ended conditional statement with octave programming. Thanks for your kind attention.